Picture Jerusalem at high noon. It's the hour of maximum light, yet the sky is swallowed by an unnatural ink-black shadow. On the ground, the environment shifted. The birds stopped their song. The dust in the air seemed to hang still. Witnesses described the atmosphere turning heavy, like a liquid weight descending on the hill. Roman execution was a public display of physical trauma, but the atmosphere at Golgotha was dominated by a psychological void. For 3 hours, there was an absolute silence from the central cross, a quiet that carried the weight of a scream. The man suspended in the middle was entering a state of complete cosmic isolation. Examining the mechanics of those 3 dark hours reveals why this specific event became a central hinge point for both ancient faith and modern history. The isolation began with the landscape. As the light vanished, the execution site became a cold, sterile island, leaving the central cross stranded in the dark. Below his feet, human connection was failing as well. His mother and his closest friends were standing mere inches away, yet the depth of his suffering created a distance that made them unreachable. Psychologists define dereliction as a state of total forsakenness. It describes a profound isolation where the distance between 2 people becomes an unbridgeable gulf, regardless of physical proximity. His external support systems, the sun, his family, the natural rhythms of the day, had all withdrawn. He was completely sealed off. With the world shut out, the focus narrowed to the mechanical breakdown of his body. Drawing a single breath required him to fight gravity by pushing his full weight against the iron spikes in his feet. This clinical data illustrates the cardiovascular strain. We see the heart rate slowing as exhaustion sets in, then it violently spikes into erratic, jagged peaks of biological panic. This is broken heart syndrome. Under extreme trauma, the pericardial sac physically fills with fluid. As fluid mounts in these lower chambers, it creates outward pressure that crushes the heart muscle from the outside in, mimicking suffocation within the chest. His physical machinery was shutting down just as the weight of his mission reached its climax. At 3 p.m., the 9th hour, the shadow reached its absolute, suffocating peak. He forced his body upward to draw air for a final statement, his neck and jaw muscles tightening under the immense physical strain. He shouted, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani." Translated from Aramaic, it is the question, my God, why have you forsaken me?" The Roman guards were hardened by years of executions, yet they reacted with terror. They were used to dying men cursing their enemies, but they had never heard a man address an empty sky with this kind of devastation. No answer came from the heavens. For the first time, the silence was total, marking a complete severing from the source of life. This unanswered cry signaled that he had entered a dark night of the soul on a cosmic scale. This abandonment was not a failure of the plan, it was a deliberate choice. By remaining on the cross, he acted as a repository for human failure. He was absorbing the collective dark secrets and the sense of guilt that separates people from one another. While he appeared vulnerable, he retained the agency to end the execution at any moment. He possessed the power to call for rescue, but actively chose the void instead. He anchored his fading consciousness by reciting the Psalms. Even as the feeling of connection vanished, he held on to the text of the ancient scriptures to maintain his resolve. Staying suspended in that silence, when he had the means to escape it, marks a definitive moment of willpower. The impact of that afternoon extends far beyond the historical hill in Jerusalem. By entering the absolute center of abandonment, he occupied a space that was previously a vacuum. He essentially mapped the furthest reaches of isolation, ensuring that the void now contains a shared human experience. Today, that experience provides a sense of dignity to those facing the end of life. It suggests that even in the most solitary moments of medical or emotional trauma, there is a precedent. Because he endured the crushing silence of that afternoon, the path into the unknown is no longer a journey into total darkness. No human soul has to face that final silence alone.